Yeah. First, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you for coming to discuss gendered innovations, issues in STEM fields, and to share your experience and ideas. You all made this summit a stimulating and thought-provoking event. Especially, I would like to introduce my center, but because of time constraint, may I kindly request you to look at this booklet, which is prepared for the summit. So you can take one from outside. Yeah, you all know that familiar with the key themes of aims of Gender Summit Asia Pacific, so I'm not going to repeat this. Here are some objectives. Sorry. We are hoping some of the objectives of Gender Summits as a whole can be achieved in Asia Pacific in the near future by collaborating with the institutions and organizations who joined as conveners of the Gender Summit Asia Pacific. With your continued support, we can make this thing possible. The aims of the Gender Summit are important to achieve in Asia Pacific as this is becoming one of the world's focal points in political, economic, and scientific terms, constituting 60% of world population. Annual GDP growth for the region drops from 7.9 to 5.6 by the IMF report 2010 and 2015. Let's focus on women's participation in this economic activity, especially in the STEM fields. As you can see from this chart, R&D participation rate of women in STEM across Asian countries are particularly low internationally. However, there is a much greater variance in women's participation in R&D across the Asia Pacific than there is in other regions. Women's participation is lowest in the world in Eastern Asia, for example, Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. Total R&D fund as percentage of GDP, this is troubling, especially because the high R&D spending is paired with lower female participation in research. So here's a concept of the Gender Summit Asia Pacific, how we did it. Let's see. So given the diverse situations that we see in the Asia Pacific, we planned two different tracks for the session of Gender Summit Asia Pacific. The first was to improve the quality of core science and technology research, considering the sex differences and gender perspectives. We discussed these in plenary sessions 1 and 2 and parallel session 3. We discussed, second, we wanted to consider improving quality of life by considering this part, by considering the how to apply gender perspectives to best available technologies to solve problems of the everyday life Asia Pacific region. These are discussed in plenary 4, will be discussed in plenary 4 and parallel 1. It is all interconnected, and it is hoped these endeavors can help to create values and open new markets, to achieve innovation through greater perspectives, we have seen gender diversity is quite crucial. So gendered innovations and gender diversities were treated in plenary 3 into every possible plenary 3. The goal is to build a sustainable ecosystem to put gender perspectives in every possible research area. In order to do this, we wish to integrate gendered innovations considerations into existing scientific network. This way we can reshape our scientific thoughts via gendered innovations. That will be the focus of plenary 5 this afternoon. You can see from that through this gender summit, thanks to you all, these new networks of gendered innovations in science are already becoming a reality. Especially my special thanks goes to President Peck from COFST. The outputs of Gender Summit 6 has been too rich and varied to put on this little slide. But let me just give you a few key statistics. You can see the registered people are 580 from 40 different countries in various regions. And speakers are 105, which is over 100. And poster presentations are 72. And now I'd like to introduce a little bit about Seoul Gender Summit Declaration. This will be the concrete contribution of Gender 6. So let me briefly explain the 10 main points of Seoul Declaration. They are, the first is to collaborate by creating national and regional alliances to enable continued dialogue on common gender problems in science. The second, ask to ensure quality of research processes, whether and in what sense biological sex and gender differences are relevant, and continued. I'll just give a little time for you to read it over. And ninth, judge the individual and scientific quality and potential of women and men using clear and fair assessment criteria. Continued. The last, create conditions for the gendered research and innovation principles to be implemented in practice through funding policies and programs, encouraging cross-disciplinary and cross-sector collaboration. We continued a little bit. So these 10 principles in the declaration reflects the concerns and issues highlighted in the presentation submitted to Gender Summit 6 Asia Pacific. They are interested as a guide for future gender summits in Asia Pacific to take a focused approach in creating conditions for advanced-led change. So I'd like to ask you, please consider a text in full which will be prepared, which will be presented to you during the break in the afternoon. So if you agree with these principles, we will be grateful if you could sign the declaration later during our closing ceremony. Thank you for joining. Thank you.